All right, here we are. I'm with Karla Fox Reynolds, just one of the amazing delegates on this trip we've been on to Germany over the last 4 days. We're at the very last site visit. We've literally got a crew down in the basement checking out some very exciting air source heat pumps, ground source heat pumps. We're out of the basement. We're a little bit sweaty, right?
Yeah.
It was pretty hot.
It was warm.
It was warm. It's super exciting technology. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to sort of unpack Karla's takeouts from the trip. I should say, Karla, from Climate KIC Australia, you're leading a lot of the work on, I guess, the residential transformation in the energy efficiency space for Climate KIC. So what's your big takeout been from the week?
And we've been talking about this afternoon as a group, and there are a lot of takes. Something that's very strong is just understanding the government leadership here and the influence that has and has had for several years, and almost the case that it's removed a lot of argument that we have in Australia that's created the blocks for us. But actually there's that leadership, that government leadership, but a lot of that has come from with dollars or let's say euros.
Yeah, so there's almost two elements to it, right? Like, we talked a lot about targets today when the group got together to unpack some of the key insights. And so you got leadership, you got ambition, but then backing that in with a clear target for what is trying to be achieved in Germany, decarbonisation by 2045, but then sector by sector, going, what is the contribution of buildings, what is the contribution of industry, of transport, and we were talking about how that really enables a conversation around, okay, we've made a commitment to this target, now how are we going to do it?
Yeah. And it's impressive because they've been ambitious with their targets, and they almost, and this is what I loved, they didn't know how they were going to get there, and that didn't put them off getting on with the job. And it's something that we have been talking about, is that we've spent too much time talking, like being too worried about how to get there, and really we're at the point now where we just need to get on with the job and have a good go.
Well, something you said this afternoon which really stuck with me was, the Germans are willing to set ambitious targets and willing to fail in attempting them, and then sort of pick themselves up and work out what went wrong, right, and get on with it.
And we've actually also seen that from a cultural perspective. So where they have historical, they've had war, they've had really bad social issues, and they wear that. They wear that in the architecture, they wear it in their environment, their landscape. And it's quite obvious as well, like you can see when you start understanding more of the history of Berlin. 35 years ago, this didn't exist. It wasn't there, and so you can start to understand, like, wow, that can be achieved in a really short space of time. And it isn't all perfect. But it's better than it could have been or would have been. So it's a really interesting thought process to apply in the Australian, or almost the new Australian environment. We're ambitious. Let's continue to be ambitious as professionals. We have the skills. We have the want. There's plenty of us that are ready to get on with the job. There's a lot of new skills that are required as well, and that's exciting. That's new jobs. And I think the other piece of learning, definitely from the KFW as well, is that if we're going to retrofit homes, we need to make that a focus. We want to be dealing with new buildings as well. There's a lot to do there from building standards perspective. But if we want to impact existing homes, we need to deal with that as a separate piece.
Well, it's a laser-like focus. The issues in that sector are profoundly different. A lot of the same building materials, some of the same skills, but just in terms of the business models and the kind of the engagement method, the kind of disruption it can cause for people, and what is going to drive that renovation decision. There's kind of granular detail in that space. As you say, it sort of requires a laser-like focus. I think the one thing I'll add is, just that idea that buildings are absolutely crucial to this journey to net zero. Like, Germany's really, got that in their bones, and they see it as a key focus area in a way that I don't think we often think about in Australia in the same way. So certainly something I think everybody on the trip this week is going to be taking back to us is, yes, we've got to put a flag in the sand and say this is non-negotiable, right? We just got to get this done. And, you know, it's not that we sort of fire up the photocopier and do everything that Germany's done, because it's not perfect, but there's inspiration to draw and lessons to learn, and things that we can take home, Karla, back to Australia, and accelerate our progress in the same direction.
I'm absolutely excited. We have got, there's so many of us and there's us that's here on the delegation, but we know there are so many others in Australia that are in for the fight and ready. And I'm so excited to see what we do from this, and the learnings that we can bring from here and bring back to everybody. We can create that ecosystem, we can enable our government as leaders, and we can get on with the job. And we can bring the people involved, so the homeowners, bring that cultural element into it, and we'll all benefit. It's a win-win.
Win-win. Karla Fox Reynolds, thanks for sharing your insights. Thanks for making the time to join us on this delegation. And it's been incredible. It's been incredible having you with us and having all that expertise from Climate KIC being brought to bear on all the discussions we've had this week. Looking forward to kicking some goals when we get home.
Yes. Thanks, Luke.
Cheers.